We came through Raleigh, now on to Gettysburg. Heard shots in the valley, so I wrote you down these words.
Okay, well that's right. Mother Nature was easy on us so far this winter. Where I live in New York, we get an average of 100 inches of snow per year. I only know that because Sarah's stepdad keeps track, and he's kept track in a journal since the 70s. For anyone that's been following every single week, I think you probably by now have a great idea of what I'm going to be doing next. And it's going to be this ceiling in the downstairs of the house. So we're going to start this ceiling in here. And I'm going to be putting up this type of wood, the same stuff that we put on the ceiling in the bathroom. Like this. And yes, we are going to paint it, because that's the look I like, and that's the look Sarah likes. It ties the room all together a little bit better when it's all one uniform color. So there you go. I've thought about doing this ceiling probably ever since I ripped down the old one. What a job that was. And I saw all the strapping and I knew what I was in for as far as putting new strapping up. Someone in the 60s, I believe, strapped it all, and they put up sheetrock and plaster and lath, stuff like that. I ripped all that out because I wanted to have everything be new, and I'm crazy and I don't know my own boundaries. I'm going to wear suspenders today because I'm going to do a lot of reaching over my head. We don't need to have any wardrobe malfunctions. I don't know. This looks really stupid. There. You can even tell that I got suspenders on. Alright. What was I talking about? Sarah and I have decided that we're going to put rock wool insulation up in these joists. That's going to do two things for us. One, and probably most important, rock wool is a great fire barrier. So if the house ever did catch on fire, it'd give us that much more time before it just goes upstairs. The second point is, we've noticed that on the other side of the house where I've already put rock wool, because of the radiant in-floor heat, I've noticed it's way quieter when the kids are walking around up there. It's going to help with sound deadening. I've said that probably a billion trillion times, but you know, it's important to us. I just like a quiet house, if that makes sense. Bags didn't go very far. I got 2.5 rows done. I'll probably break this project up and do some other things. I'm getting really close to deciding on what type of water softener to install, and we're going to put in a whole house filter, water softener, and a new pressure tank. I'm just kind of researching what we want to go with, trying to get quality stuff at a decent price. And I think that will be a nice break from doing this whole ceiling. This first row is going to be the most challenging because it needs to be straight, and I just don't really know how to do that without maybe running a string line. So I don't know how straight I don't know how straight the room is, and I think that's what I'm gonna check first. See that screw right there? Okay, that's at 24 inches from this wall. And then I put another one right there, 24 inches from the same wall. Now when I put a string up from this screw to the one that's down there, make it really tight, I'll be able to measure from the string to the wall and see, is it, it's 24 inches here, but is it 24 inches here? Is it 24 inches here? I'm just gonna try to get started on a straight line, a parallel line through here. Hope that makes sense. So now let's get some measurements and see what happens. To me, it looks pretty straight. I mean, we tried our best to get these walls in here straight, plumb, level, all those things. Very little. I'd call it 1/8 of an inch. Could be 1/4 of an inch. Good enough for me. So now what I gotta do is get set up with my wood and my planer, my air gun, and get that first row on. This will forever be known as the first piece I'm putting up. Not exactly the plan. A moment of silence for the air compressor. Yeah, so I got not even one piece up and I'm done. That happens. And now I get to go buy a tool. So that's it. That's it for today. All right. It's late. Almost 1 o'clock. Been running the roads all day today. Mostly because of the air compressor. It broke, so I had to fix that. Well, I had to buy a new one. I wish the purchasing would have stopped at this, but it didn't. Not even close. Oh, jeez. To say that I went on a buying spree is an understatement. I'm hoping that it goes together without directions. All right, now I wish that the purchasing did stop there, but it didn't. Cobalt wheels are so smelly. It's gonna be loud. Of all the things that I do, I try to protect my ears the most. My dad has Meniere's, and I don't know if it's hereditary. I honestly don't want to find out because it's scary. He suffers pretty bad from it. So I try to take good care of my ears. I haven't always been like that. As I said before, I used to have bass speakers in my car. going down the road. Boom, boom. All right, let's fire it on. Okay. I could have stopped there. Let's get close. Let's get closer. I could have stopped there. That new compressor obviously would have worked with my air guns, and I could have continued on. Scaffolding is really nice to have. I think I will enjoy that. It'll save me moving the ladder a lot. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I didn't stop there. I got some tools that I probably didn't need, but might make my life easier. And the first one I gotta start with is this one. Milwaukee's cordless. It's run on a battery, and it's a nailer. This right here is a pressure-treated 4x4. It's probably the thickest piece of wood that I have in the house. This is a scrap piece of the oak I'm putting up. It's red oak, it's old, so it's just as tough as nails. They say that this will go right through, no problem. I see a problem there. It didn't go all the way in. How do you set the adjustment? Might have to get the directions out. I think it's right there. Okay, so we're gonna go in. You wanna get close? Ready? They're all very consistent. That's going through the old piece of oak and the pressure treated, so I would say that that's a win. So I won't rant and rave on this anymore. I like it. It's a nice tool. I think it serves a good purpose. Of all the Milwaukee stuff I have, I dislike this one probably the most. And it's because it doesn't have Bluetooth. Though it's a nice radio.
Good shots.
That's the build-up for this. Nothing special about this radio, but what it is where I buy my tools from, my Milwaukee tools, he has these for, this was $60. Online, you can't touch these for less than $120, usually. So it's just a really, 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 really good deal. So Bluetooth is pretty magical.
Wrote down these words.
I mean, that's super convenient. Because now I can keep my phone in my pocket. And this radio can blare. It seems silly to have two job site radios. It seems just so silly, but when you're here and you're working and you want to listen to music, you just want to listen to music. So this I am very happy about. Honestly, this makes my day. It doesn't end there. With Milwaukee, whenever you buy Milwaukee stuff, there's always times of the year where there's deals. And that was this time. I went to the store and there was a deal. So I bought some combo kits to save $150. And the two extra tools that I got are those. One of these I am really excited to try out. It's this one, and what it is a little tiny 1/4-inch shank router with a small battery on this. This is so small. It happens so often that you want to use a little tiny handheld router. Really, it comes up a lot more than you think. How quiet it is. I had to throw this one into the mix. So this is a orbital sander. You know from watching, I have a really nice orbital type sander. This thing is a boss. I have sanded the house with this. The whole house I've sanded with this. Like all that old wood, all the old wood projects, every beams. This thing, I think I sanded concrete with this thing. This has been a really, really good sander. This sander is not going to do what that sander does, and I don't expect it to either. Interesting. I didn't know orbital sanders, they don't really, it's not spinning necessarily. It's more or less gyrating. I need something to sand. Alright, so that clearly sanded this wood, but it wasn't very aggressive. I didn't think it would be. I didn't notice any dust coming out of this thing, so that's... yeah, there's some in there. That's a really nice filtering system. This thing, you start it up, it's like a, you know, a V12 engine. It's like... and when you... like, I could sand this board in half with this thing. And I'm not kidding. I really could. If I held this in one spot with 40 grit sandpaper, I would cut it. It would take a little while, but I could do it. I've said before, it's like you're only as good as your tools. And that's true to a point. There's some people out there that do amazing work with the most low-grade, cheapest tools that you can buy. But for me, getting stuff that's gonna work, stuff that's, you know, that's just high quality, it makes me work that much better, that much more high quality myself. And now I am definitely rambling. I want to put a couple pieces of wood up. Let's do that.
And darling,
Now I'm trying to get by. Miss Elizabeth, I can still see your dark brown eyes. Elizabeth, this could be the last time I write. Yeah, I know it's I can lie. And if you don't hear from me, tell my mother it's alright. I'm at the edge of a fire. And if you don't hear from me, I'll meet you in heaven when I die.
Yeah, it made it a lot easier. The nailer is awesome. I know that these are going up way tighter and stronger than they would if I didn't have the nailer. And it is kind of nice to work without a cord. Though, I need to get used to working with the tool in general. I keep kind of setting it down and then picking it back up. I think I need to put my belt on and actually have it on my belt. I'm sure I'll work out like a method that works better. I'm hoping that next weekend I can really bang out some of this. If I could get, you know, I won't even say. I have no idea. I'd like to get a lot done next weekend, but we'll see how that goes. But that's it for this week. Probably a little bit of a weird video. I don't know how much I'm going to show of the unboxing. That was probably an hour and a half of my time just unboxing and talking to the camera. I probably won't put an hour and a half in, but we'll see how that goes. As always, thanks for watching. I appreciate you all just like following along, and I guess this is something new, starting this ceiling, and I hope it turns out really good, and we'll probably find out in the coming weeks. And don't try to talk me out of painting this one. It's going to be painted, okay? So no matter how good it looks when I put it up as wood, it's going to be painted. So don't even try. Don't even try. It's time to go home. I'll see you next time I turn the camera on. Have a good week, everybody.
When I die.